Yes, a tiny house is anything under 500 square feet.
Ah, okay. Then
But
499 square feet.
right, 499.2.
Point 5.
Oh, 0.9.
Oh, there you go. 0.99. Huh?
You win this
Got you
round,
there.
Math. Hi, I'm Caitlin,
And I'm Charlie.
and this is Outsmarting the Shadows, where we help you
Survive Rose. Yes, we did.
Okay, so we are continuing in
Mhm.
our two-part series. This is part
Yes.
2.
Didn't we leave it in a cliffhanger?
We left it in a pretty extreme cliffhanger for our audience.
Yes, it was explaining the 7-minute rule, I believe.
Yes. The 7-minute rule is pretty much horror movie survival 101.
One of the golden rules here at Outsmarting the Shadows.
Yes, one of 2.5 golden rules.
Okay. So, if you heard our previous episode and you want to know what the 7-minute rule is,
We're going to just launch into it, okay?
Yes.
So, the scenario that we're talking about is how do you survive locations where horror tends to happen? And the location that we ended on in our last episode was you're at home. Most horror movies happen in someone's home, whether it's a haunted house or an old house that you just bought or just your house, your apartment. That's usually where
you live.
Where horror movies happen. And I have the 7-minute rule.
Yes.
Which is, first you need to set the 7-minute rule in the same way that you would a fire drill. So you talk to your kids, you talk to your husband, you talk to everybody, and so everybody knows the 7-minute rule. That's the only way it works.
So everybody must be in the know.
In on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just you by yourself. So this is to avoid that issue of, oh, something creepy happened and I gotta go get you, or I gotta go get Milo, or I gotta go get somebody because
I gotta go get the goat.
Gotta go get the goat, right? And because if something creepy happens, the reason why people die one at a time is that they go try to find somebody or they split up by themselves. And then suddenly the movie has this whole plot unto itself and we're following individual characters as they make stupid decisions.
But what if it's a tiny house? Like, houses are relatively small. Like you can stand in the front window and just call everybody.
Well, you could, but here's the thing.
What's the use about the 7-minute rule in a tiny house?
Well, the 7-minute rule still applies. But what I would say is if something creepy happens in a tiny house, everyone's aware of that anyway. So everyone, you wouldn't even have to call me.
That would be an interesting horror movie.
Oh, that would be
great.
Set
in a tiny house?
Yeah.
When you go into a room, all of a sudden, you can't hear anything outside of that room.
That would be so cool. The only room in a tiny house is the bathroom.
Is it? There are other tiny houses that have separate rooms.
Rooms, really?
Yeah, I mean, if you look,
is a curtain a room?
No, but those tiny big houses that are the 10 feet wide trailers.
10 feet wide by 40 feet long.
Yeah, I'm 47.
It's not. That's just a trailer home.
No, it's a tiny house.
It's a tiny house.
A tiny house.
Yes, a tiny house is anything under 500 square feet.
Ah, okay. Then 499 square feet.
Right, 499.2.
0.5.
Oh, 0.9.
Oh, there you go, 0.99.
You win this round, Math. So I would say no matter where you are, the scenario in the 7-minute rule is I have heard something creepy in my office because we have individual offices.
Yes.
Okay, let's say you're in the workshop. I'm in my office. I hear something creepy, and I immediately feel that I need to enact the 7-minute rule.
Okay.
I am not going to go wander out to the workshop and find you and say, hey, something creepy, come to me with the car. No, I'm going to make sure that if my phone is right next to me, I grab it, and then I go out to the car immediately. I don't stop.
You know how many creepy things we've heard in this house and you've never done that?
Okay, here is why.
Okay.
I know every sound that happens in this house.
Okay.
If there's a creepy sound that has happened in this house that I don't know,
she ain't gonna do nothing.
That's not true.
She ain't gonna follow her 7-minute rule.
I'm gonna follow it.
Okay.
So at some point in this channel, we are going to test this out.
Yes. and we're going to...
We'll film it.
Yeah, and we'll live 6 months in the tundra.
Anyway, so the scenario, right? Okay, back to the scenario. You hear something creepy.
Yes.
You have your phone. You go out to the car.
Someone call your name.
Yes.
That's creepy.
That is the perfect creepy. Somebody calls like this.
Yeah,
Like somebody just whispers your name. Hey, Steve Johnson, right?
Oh, there you go, Steve.
Okay, listen. Okay, whoever Steve Johnson is, now he's super creeped out.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the 7-minute rule, Steve, right now.
Yes.
Right now. It wasn't me talking, it was a ghost.
Right.
Okay, so Steve Johnson has just grabbed his phone. He's going out to his car.
Mm-hmm. He lost the keys.
What do you mean he lost the keys?
What do you do now? You lost your keys.
Remember, you only have one mission, and that is to get to the car. So you have to find your keys.
Okay.
Okay? Because remember, even if you lose your keys, the point is you got to get out of there.
Okay.
So no matter what, you're going to have to find your keys anyway.
So find your keys first and then get to the car?
Yes. Unfortunately, you have an obstacle to the 7-minute rule.
Okay, so the 7-minute rule could end up being a 40-minute rule.
Well, remember the 7 minutes. Now, I need to explain the rule before we start deviating from it.
Okay.
So you get out to the car.
Mm-hmm.
If you have or don't have the keys, that's beside the point. Hopefully you do. And you call, I call you, right?
Okay.
Or Steve Johnson calls his wife or calls his partner and says, hey, 7-minute rule is starting right now. I need you to get to the car.
Okay.
Your partner has 7 minutes to get to the car. If they're not there, you drive away and you either, if you really think it's serious, you get help, or you go get ice cream and you bring ice cream back for everybody so that when they're really pissed, you're like, but I have ice cream.
Yeah.
Right? Because either it's real serious.
Or any type of food. Or maybe a pie, an apple pie.
Oh, yeah. Good job.
A good apple pie.
Yeah, chocolate cake.
No, that's gross. Apple pie.
But I like chocolate cake.
Okay, chocolate cake if you're gross.
So if it's real serious, you need to go get help. If it's not that serious, but you're like, maybe it's something and you're really just suspicious of it, you can go grab some food and come back, you know?
Yeah.
So so that's really the rule.
The rule is
you have 7 minutes to wait.
Once you get to your car, you got 7 minutes.
You have 7 minutes for your people to come to you.
And that's the 7-minute rule.
And if they don't come to you, you leave. And remember, if anyone in any horror movie had done that, that person would live.
What if they pick up the phone? Now we know we've established the 7-minute rule. What if they pick up the phone and they're pooping? And I'll be right there, I'm pooping.
Well, you tell them.
You know, sometimes a poop can last more than 7 minutes.
I would say
sometimes it can last up to 40 plus minutes.
Well, I would tell that person, if you cannot complete your business within 7 minutes and get here.
I mean, who can poop in 7 minutes? Listen, viewer/listener, if you're a person that you can just go in, flop, and get out in less than 7 minutes, leave us a comment. Because I do not believe that. You need more than 7 minutes.
You don't need to leave us a comment about that.
Yeah, you do. These are the important things to see if the 7-minute rule would work. If someone's pooping.
See, what if it's a trick, though?
What do you mean a trick? Oh, it's a different person, right?
It's
they say
demon.
that. They say that, and then the person you're calling shows up right next to you. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, no. Here's the thing: the 7-minute rule is a hard and fast golden rule. It's the number one golden rule.
Okay. So no bending it for the poopings.
If let's say your house is on fire and you're pooping.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be like, whoa, I got 40 minutes of deuce time?
Well, it depends on where the fire is. If the fire is in a faraway corner of the house that is not next to the toilet, you can spare a minute or two, clean yourself real good,
So here's the thing. We now know how Charlie's going to die. He's going to die in a fire while
pooping.
While pooping.
While pooping.
So my suggestion is, for the 7-minute rule, you just stick to the 7 minutes. I don't care what you hear on the other end of the phone. I don't care.
7 minutes.
It's 7
And that's
minutes.
what it is.
And that's what it is.
Okay.
If they don't make it to you,
It's up to
in 7
them.
minutes, they're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's why they watch this podcast. They
Right?
know how to survive.
And if they haven't gotten there by 30 minutes, you might as well plan the funeral. Because they are gone.
They're dead.
Right? The entity, the demon, the ghosts, the slasher, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, the other reason why the 7-minute rule is really important in horror movies, so many times, there's a killer, there's something, and you make it to the car, the character makes it to the car, and what really has always upset me is then they're like, well, I can't leave because they don't know that I'm at the car, and they don't know to kind of, I'm like,
that way,
why would people not know?
Everybody is in line.
Everybody knows.
7-minute rule.
And so even if you get separate, it's like, remember when you were a kid and you were in the grocery store and my mom used to have a spot. She was like, if we ever get separated, I'm going to meet you right here in this aisle.
Okay, but... Okay. Let's say, right? Let's make this scenario.
Okay, let's do it.
So, a slasher. Let's say you see someone like...
Let's do Michael Myers.
Like Michael Myers, right?
Okay.
Right? And you see him, right?
Right.
And you run to the car.
Okay.
And then in your house, there's a window, so you see that the other person is in the kitchen. And Michael Myers follows you, and you're calling the other person because the 7-minute rule started. You're already in the car. But then you see Michael Myers turn around and head towards the kitchen, but the other person picks up, says, hello, I can't hear you, but you can't communicate. Do you just leave?
Okay, so this is the scenario where you would either watch your friend die,
okay,
or you leave. You keep the 7-minute rule.
You just leave and let them die?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Oh, that's not nice.
No.
I hope we never get a slasher here. I don't know who's going to come to save me. He's just going to watch me die from the car. I was like, whoop, 7 minutes. He didn't come here, so I guess I'm going to eat some ice cream.
No, okay. I'm just laying out what the rules state. So the rules state that it's 7 minutes.
Okay.
But you're saying so if you can visually see the only threat present and the victim, I would say that you have a better likelihood of survival if you decide to deviate from the rules.
Okay.
But if you can't act, like, let's say, I don't know, you see him go around a corner. Nuh-uh. Not today. Not today, Death. Not today. Okay? But you see him, and then the line of sight, you see, I see you.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
Well,
Gonna bob and weave and run? Hope you're faster?
It's Michael Myers. I know how to kill Michael Myers.
He can kill Michael Myers. That's why he's Michael Myers. Not even what's her name? The actress?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You know how to defeat Michael Myers. It's easy.
How do you defeat Michael Myers?
You run.
Yeah, but
he's dead. He can't run. He just walks super slow.
He walks really slow. That's true.
Like he can't. Like that's it. You got tons of time.
All
you need to do is not get cornered. Big open field. You're good. Like you
just bob and weave. Like ha ha. Can I catch
right.
me?
You just keep running around in a circle. Like I mean, all you need to do with Michael Myers is get him on the other side of a big table, and you're fine.
He raises his knife to stab you, and then you go, "I'm fast as fuck, boy! I'm
right?
fast as fuck."
No, I'm serious. Like Michael Myers, yes, he's super strong. He's super indestructible, but he can be detained, and but you have to be looking at him because that guy, he disappears.
Right,
like it's nobody's
You're
business.
running. He's 50 feet away, and then you look front, and then you look back, and he's
gone.
He's 10 feet away.
Right? He's like one
walking
of those
slowly.
He's like one of those cats in that little meme.
Right.
It's like you look at him away, and he's right there.
Like right here.
That's why I'm saying like it depends.
So he's like the weeping angels.
Yes.
You can't blink.
You can't blink.
If you blink, he's right next to you. But if you look at him, he's just slowly walking.
He's like the blinking
towards you.
And they're like the weeping angels with one additional danger, which is they can't get close to you. But if you're constantly looking at him and you're like backing away quick, like in a golf cart, you're good.
Why would you be in a golf cart?
I'm just giving you a scenario.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. Everybody that has a golf cart, they just
so I would
slowly
say
back away.
in that scenario, you might be able to deviate.
Mm.
But
Okay.
remember, the other thing is, like, if you are going to be responsible and get away from good horror movies, you got to be agile, you got to be fit,
Okay.
you got to, like,
So you gotta work out regularly,
right?
you know?
We're
At
working
least,
on that.
yeah, right. You know, at least a bike. You know,
Yeah.
30 to 45 minutes on
On
a
the
bicycle,
elliptical.
on the elliptical. You
Yeah.
know, on
You
a
know,
rower, you can do some jump rope.
just
Yeah,
get your
jump rope.
cardio in.
Yeah,
You
a little
know?
cardio. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just have your head about you. And the reason why you do that
Mm-hmm.
is not just for your own survival, but so other people aren't, like, inconvenienced because they're like, oh, now we got to go back and get so and so because so and so is an idiot.
Right. So and so. Just let so
It's
and so.
always Janet in my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Whoever Janet is. I'm sorry, Janet.
Yeah. What if there's a Janet listening?
Janet, you're the best. I think you can do it. Just stop getting all tangled up in with those killers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I don't want to keep having to save you, Janet.
That's
Save
right.
yourself.
Okay. So that's the
That's the 7-minute rule.
7-minute rule.
Okay, so in terms of your house, the other key factor I think to saving yourself in your home against supernatural or killers in general is that you know your house.
Right.
You should know. I mean, you know where everything is.
You should. Yeah.
You should. If you are a husband, okay, typically wives know where things are. I know this is kind of a sexist thing, but I'm just saying, like, that's typical in a home. Wives know where things are, and guys ask the girls where it is. But just know where things are.
I know where everything is.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just. But why would you need to know where things are?
Because you know everything is a weapon.
Okay.
Everything is either a weapon or remember how they knock over, like, furniture for some reason, and it's always in, like, stupid furniture. I'm like, that's doing nothing.
Right. That's just that crappy IKEA furniture made out of cardboard. He's just gonna walk right through it.
Walk around it, like they move a chair.
Yeah, he'll throw a little water on it and it'll just dissolve.
Right.
The paper mache.
Thing is, like, you've got some options if you know your house. Whereas at another location, you may not know where the exits are. You may not know, like.
What if you're staying in a friend's house?
Dang, like, that's true. So if you're in a friend's house, I don't know if I do this anymore. I probably should, but when I was in my 20s, I was extremely paranoid, and I would actually go through their house, and I would know where all the exits were.
Yeah, but come to think of it, after 30, you don't stay in no friend's house. You don't have no friends.
You don't have any friends.
After 30, you don't make no friends. Who's going to make friends after 30? They're like, listen, I have stuff to do. They either have children or they work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah, nobody's making friends after 30.
Yeah,
if you're in your 20s, then yeah, learn your friend's house. If you're after your 20s, like in your 30s and above, you ain't staying in no friend's house.
And we've already...
Maybe you'll stay in your parents' house. One of them.
Which you probably know your parents' house pretty well.
Probably.
Yeah. Now, we've already covered hotels and motels, which we did in the last episode. Go ahead and take a look at that one. So the next location that we're going to look at is hospitals.
Oh, hospitals.
Yeah.
But is it, what are they called? The loony bins?
Asylums.
Oh yeah, asylums. Loony bins is not politically
Asylums
correct.
is a different location.
Oh, okay. So there's a hospital and then it's an asylum.
Now, there is one caveat to that, which is sometimes there's a psych ward in a hospital.
That could be a whole floor.
It could be a whole floor or a couple of floors. But typically there's a psych department. It's not a whole floor, and the layout is very similar to a hospital.
I see.
Hey, buddy, are you okay? What's he looks like a little rag doll today.
Right. He's just sleeping. Little Milo's just so tired. We don't let him sleep. We're recording all day.
Right?
He's like, listen, I just want to sleep.
He's in his bed all the time.
Right.
So
okay, so asylums.
Hospitals.
No, hospitals. Right.
Hospitals.
Right.
Asylums are kind of a different thing. So we're going to cover asylums right after hospitals. So hospitals, The Void.
The Void.
Madhouse.
Madhouse. Okay.
Halloween 2.
Halloween 2.
All settings were hospitals.
Halloween 2, is it a hospital or an asylum?
Can't remember, but I thought it was a hospital.
Neither do I.
So, because I think Halloween 2 happens right after Halloween 1, which is why I think it's the hospital.
Okay. I don't remember Halloween one. I have to watch it.
We are going to watch it on Halloween.
Ah, there you go. Halloween on Halloween.
Yep, makes sense.
Well, technically, we watch it the day before, so the podcast comes out on Halloween.
So,
moving on.
Moving on. So, hospitals. So, some of the creepy things about hospitals is simply that doors are extremely heavy and open. I think so, at least. And
open by themselves?
Well, no, because there are these big, heavy double doors.
Yeah, those metal doors.
Giant hallways.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them in the main hallway are open. And the ones on the side of different departments are sort of closed or they're locked.
But I feel like in a hospital, it depends on what you're up against.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, that's why I think it can be very creepy.
Because if it's the undead, don't go to the morgue. But if it's a slasher, hide in the morgue.
Interesting. I love that logic.
Yeah.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Right?
Can we make that on a t-shirt?
I think we can. Yeah. Because, a slasher, if it's a slasher, you can just hide with the dead bodies in the morgue.
It's true.
But if it's the undead, those dead bodies,
they will kill you.
Yeah, they will come up and kill you, yeah.
I feel like in a hospital, there's a ton of things that you can use against slashers. Almost nothing against, like, supernatural forces. So, like, supernatural forces, like demons and even undead, like, there's just physical barriers like walls and doors and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, they can probably cross walls.
Yeah, they can. And I mean, maybe there's a chapel.
A chapel?
Like a church, but I've never been to a chapel in a hospital.
Are there chapels in hospitals? I don't think
so. I've seen them in more movies.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a thing in real life. At least
right?
I've never seen. But all the hospitals I've ever been to are not privately owned hospitals.
Well, so there was a YouTuber that I was watching, and unfortunately, she like severely injured herself with a ceiling fan. It was really terrible.
Did it fall?
No, she stood up on her bed, and the ceiling. I mean, it was a big, heavy ceiling fan, and she almost died.
Jesus.
And the reason why there's a point to this. She's okay. She's doing better. She's in recovery. But they brought her family into a separate, private, like, dark room, and there was the hospital chaplain. Chaplain? Like priest. Oh. Like somebody there who's like a religious figure. Because they didn't know if she was going to live, and they thought she was going to die.
I didn't know that was a thing in hospitals.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And when I heard that, I was like, I thought that was just in movies.
Interesting.
You should check out her channel. I'm going to link it in our description.
Yeah.
She's amazing, and she does a lot on like price saving things.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally unrelated to horror movies. I'm just mentioning her.
It's just a YouTuber you like.
She's just a YouTuber, and she's fantastic.
Okay.
We're here to support each other.
Yes.
Okay, so in hospitals, like, we got to come up with some good strategies. So let's just say we're going up against a slasher.
A slasher.
And you're in a hospital.
I feel like, do you know where the slasher is?
Because, I mean, you must at first, and then maybe you lose them.
Because hospitals are pretty big.
They're huge.
Right? I feel like if it's Michael Myers, and he walks so slow, you can just run away.
I know.
Get to the parking lot, get to your car, and just drive away.
Well, let's say it's Jason. So somebody who is capable of running around and slashing you.
Yeah, but Jason also walks. He doesn't run.
Oh, that's true.
Right? What about, the Scream feller.
Oh, right.
He runs.
Not only does he run, there's two of them.
There are two of them?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't remember Scream all that well either. Well, I'm the worst at horror movies. I remember none of the classics.
We are going to be watching Scream this month.
Okay.
We are going to catch you up on all of the classics. Okay. So if you're in a hospital, I would say your best bet is to hide. Because you can lock doors. Or
go to the OR.
Oh, that's true.
Because you can get, knives. I mean, do they store them in the OR? Or do you have to go to little closets and stuff?
I don't think... Okay, I've never attempted to get equipment in a hospital.
Well, maybe we should try it someday. You know,
Not.
go
Like,
to a hospital. Okay, okay. So we're being haunted, or there's a slasher. What do we do? And we try to open doors and stuff. See what we can find.
I would say that instead of doing that, maybe we talk to someone who works at a hospital and we ask them.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
if
at
any
the
of
very
our
least, we could Google it.
if any of our listeners,
If you work at a hospital,
let us know.
how easy would it be if someone was being chased by some sort of entity or a
To
slasher?
get kind of like those little hammers or those little knifey knives, you know?
Scalpels?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. The really sharp one.
You can't. I doubt that any of these are accessible to the general public.
Yeah, but that's why you probably need to either go to the OR or a little room somewhere hidden away.
I do think there are police officers, though, at hospitals.
Are there?
At all of the entrances and exits, right?
Those are just little beat cops. You know, those security guards. Those aren't real police.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to tussle with them. In terms of a hospital, I think your best bet is to hide. Or to get out of the hospital.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I need
But
you
see,
guys to tell
that's
us.
tricky because if it's a slasher and you don't know where it is, you could be walking down the hallway, bam, and he's right in front of you.
I know. That's the thing about hospitals. There's so many ways to enter and exit. What was that movie that it was just a normal scene? There was a nurse. It was like in the 1960s, and she walks into a room, and immediately after it, a killer like comes out quickly from another room, and you can tell that she's just dead. It shows nothing, but it's a terrifying scene.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's an amazing movie. I'm gonna have to research it.
Okay.
So we're gonna get a lot more up to date on some of our movie scenes.
Yeah, we know nothing.
So anyway, I would say that hospitals, we need to do some more research, and if you have any survival suggestions, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Okay, so the next location, moving on, is underground.
Oh, like in a sewer?
It can be pretty much anywhere underground. Usually it's in caverns or caves,
Okay.
but it can be a sewer.
Well, like as above, so below.
Like as above, so below.
Or what's the other one? That there were creatures?
It's The Descent.
The Descent.
The Descent.
Yes.
The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes, right?
Creep.
Creep.
There's a lot of movies that are set underground.
Underground, I feel like it's just, you can't do anything. Like The Descent in the original ending, not the U.S. ending. The U.S. ending was kind of crap. In the original ending, there's nothing you can do. I'm not going to keep on going because then I will spoil it if you haven't seen it. But you're just shit out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, being that far underground, there's no way to get out or leave. It's really just it's fight. It's a get angry situation.
Yeah, but you need flashlights. You need light.
Well,
you need equipment if you're heading underground.
You do need equipment. If you're a person who frequently goes underground, you are probably trained.
Yes, hopefully.
Hopefully trained.
You just don't see a cave. Oh,
yeah, let's not do that.
Don't do that.
Ever. But what I would say is if you're trained, you know to bring redundancies upon redundancies of like equipment and lights and batteries. Right. And in all of the
chargers and all that stuff.
In all the movies that I've seen, I've never seen anyone
one
have
flashlight.
Right, one or two flashlights. You know, everybody seems to have the bare minimum
with the batteries.
Right, and I'm like, you don't know what you're going to encounter down there. And I also wonder, like, not being a cave diver myself, I wonder how practical it would be to stash supplies on your route out.
I know that I've seen those cave view tours where they go through caves and through narrow little passages.
Yeah.
That's just terrifying in and of itself.
I did go to a cave system called the Pepper Sauce Caves in Arizona when I was younger.
Okay.
And
was it as terrifying as these people?
That cave was very well traveled, but the entrances and exits, the openings were no bigger than this.
Jesus, so I wouldn't fit.
Probably no. I don't think I would fit anymore either. It was, and some of them were even smaller than that. And they might have closed down the cave system because somebody died in this cave system as well. Because you could go headfirst into things, and
then you can't get out.
That's it. So there are a lot of cave systems that are open to the general public that are safe, and some of them that are not. And I just feel, after my experience, that you can't have too much stuff in a cave. You just can't have too much stuff.
You have to have everything.
Just have everything, you know?
If you're thinking of taking one flashlight, take 3.
4, 5, 8.
A little bag just filled with flashlights.
Right.
Then a little bag filled with chargers.
Right. A little bag filled with food.
With those dynamo flashlights where if they run out, you just crank it for an hour to have
why not? Yeah.
2 minutes of light.
I guess I don't know that I would be a good cave person, because I just want to be prepared for everything. And there is a really great video on YouTube of a climber, a cave climber, who is, in order to get into the cave, they have to slowly breathe and shimmy slightly. Slowly breathe and shimmy slightly.
Hey.
And it's like this. And the camera...
What equipment are you going to take with you?
They can't turn their head. And they're like, their partner keeps going, "You good? You good?" And they're, "Yep, good." Move just a little bit. And what they would do is they would put paper here, because it was pressed so tightly that it would rip the paper, and they would have to put another piece of paper to give them some kind of traction to move. It was like,
what if before going to the cave you decided to eat a burger?
Yeah, what if you had to poop right then?
Well, you're gonna shit your pants.
Right? It's just, there's so many factors that I'm like, I don't know. What if there's a tectonic shift? You're just squished.
You're gone.
You're gone.
Or you get through, and then the opening closes up.
And you know what we have not covered in this discussion? A slasher, a killer, a demon, a haunting at all. We've only covered the practical issue.
A slasher is not going to follow you through that little crevice. First of all, have you seen the size of slashers? They're huge.
Baby, I just thought of something.
What?
A way to survive slashers. Go into a cave.
Right, go into a cave. Go into a small little crevice. Done. They're not going to follow you.
Right? Can you imagine Michael Myers in the Pepper Salt cave?
Right. Just like get stuck. Done.
He'll just be like, Michael Myers is so stiff.
Right?
Can you imagine him trying to just do yoga once?
First of all, the mask would get torn off by the sharp rocks.
Yeah. Then he would have an existential crisis.
Yeah, because he doesn't have his cool little mask.
Right. He would realize that, he's actually Captain Kirk.
Yeah. Then he would go, where am I going to find a Captain Kirk mask nowadays?
Right? And I'm going to have to paint it. It's going to be a whole thing.
Paint it, cut out the eyes. Nobody has time for that. For
anyone who doesn't know, the Michael Myers mask from the original Halloween was actually a Star Trek Captain Kirk face mask for Halloween. Then they cut the holes out of the eyes and they painted white.
Yes. And that's it.
And that's it.
Basically.
That's why it's creepy.
Yes. So then you're saying that Captain Kirk's face is creepy.
It's a little creepy to me. It's a little creepy. I mean, as he's gotten older, it's gotten less creepy.
But they should do a mask of him right now and then use that one to do a Michael Myers mask. It's like, ooh, Michael Myers has gotten old.
So I think that we've pretty much covered as much as we know about caves.
Yeah, which is basically a zero. Nothing. We know nothing about caves. Right?
Okay, so the next horror location.
Okay.
A cabin in the woods.
A cabin in the woods.
Camping in the woods.
First of all, don't go camping. You can sleep in your room. You can sleep in your house. A nice bed, with AC. No reason to go camping.
I disagree.
Yes. I say that camping, that's a white lady sport. Just don't do it. Don't. If you ever think about going camping, just don't. Just go to a car theater. Those drive-ins.
Where you can't hear the movie.
Right? That's the next best thing is camping. It's the same thing. You're in your car, you're watching a movie. It ended. You camped. Time to go home.
Eternals at a drive-in theater.
That was a horrible driving theater.
We didn't hear anything of the movie. We couldn't hear it at all.
Yeah, we couldn't hear it. We couldn't see it.
See it?
Yeah, it was horrible.
We were like, I don't even know what the movie was
But it was
about.
exactly the same as camping.
It wasn't.
Just don't do it.
All right. So camping is where a lot of horrible things have happened. So Evil Dead,
Mm-hmm.
The Strangers, Wrong Turn, the most recent Cabin in the Woods with Batista.
Batista?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Batista. It was Cabin in the Woods was the guy that plays Thor, Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, you're right. Cabin in the Woods. But
You're thinking of the other one.
Of the other one about the cabin that's in the woods.
That's in the woods, and
the strangers arrive.
Yeah. But that was
the strangers come a knocking.
Yeah.
The knocking on the door. The door.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Yeah.
Strangers are to kill you.
Yeah. Right. And one of them is Batista.
Yes. So that's actually a really good horror movie.
Yes.
So there's horrible things that happen at cabins. The main reason why they happen is because you're relatively cut off from society there. So the idea is that you don't have a way to get out. I haven't really seen a lot of supernatural stuff, except for maybe Anaconda. If anybody remembers Anaconda.
Yeah, but that wasn't a horror movie. That was an action movie. Or was it horror?
No, it was horror.
I remember that movie.
Oh, what about the movie of...
Jennifer Lopez.
Wait, it was with Jennifer Lopez?
Yes.
I'm thinking of the movie about ticks.
Ticks? I'm thinking about the movie with the giant snake. Anaconda.
Oh, yeah, no. You're thinking of a totally different movie than I am. That's a good movie, too.
Okay.
So there was a movie from the 60s or 70s about a group of friends who were staying at a cabin.
Okay.
And suddenly millions of ticks, some of them giant, started to try and, like, get them. And if you got bit, you turned into a giant tick.
Oh, that sounds gross. I mean, that's better than having an allergic reaction and never being able to eat meat.
Oh, my God. That's a real thing.
Yes. If a tick bites you, you can get this disease that you're allergic to red meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
We don't even have anything to say about that. That's that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's scary.
If you're a vegan, that doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
But I am not.
So, if you're at a cabin, there are some supernatural things that happen, but I find that they're usually like slashers and stuff.
Yeah, cabins. Well, isn't Blair Witch Project? Although that was not in a cabin. That's in the woods. But they weren't camping.
Gone wrong. They were actually looking for the Blair Witch.
Yeah, they were looking for
Look for old creepy witches. They want to be left alone.
Right.
They want to bathe in the moonlight all on their own.
Here we go again. Nobody wants to bathe in the moonlight. That's a fallacy. That's a farce. That right there is a white lady thing.
I would say that the Blair Witch, if you'd let her bathe in the moonlight, she might not have killed all those people.
I don't know. Maybe she did because she bathed in the moonlight.
Maybe. So if you're staying at a cabin, I mean, I think the same thing is true for if you're at your house. You lock all the windows and the doors. You know all your exits.
Yeah, and I feel like cabins, there's always guns in cabins.
Yeah. There's always guns in cabins. And a gun doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to survive something and that you're safe.
It is a little bit of protection.
It's a little bit better. And, I mean...
Unless you're going like a supernatural slasher. That guns, they don't do anything.
Yeah, and then you're going to have to kind of work it out on your own. So the tropes that we were talking about a couple of episodes ago, I think they apply to cabins like way more than they would apply to almost any other location.
Right. Let's say you're in a cabin and you see a cat. It jumps right at you.
Right. Something creepy's happening.
Right.
Why is the cat there?
Why is there a cat?
Who's feeding the cat?
Yeah, in a lonely... I mean, if it's the woods, the cat is feeding itself.
Well, yeah, but then why is the cat near people? It clearly doesn't need you.
Yeah. So if he jumps at you, something is coming right after.
Coming.
Yes.
The other thing is, don't go into the woods and have sex.
Right.
That happens a lot.
If you have a cabin, use the cabin.
Use the cabin.
Why would you go into the woods?
Right? Don't ignore creepy children that tell you creepy things are happening.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're in a cabin and your little Tommy says,
right,
I saw a ghost. Oh, go back to bed, little Tommy.
Right.
We're on vacation. Like,
And-
don't do that.
Right? And if you don't have children and you see little Tommy, then that would ring alarm bells.
Oh, that's creepy. And then you don't not tell your significant other.
Right? You need
Right.
to communicate.
You need to say,
Listen, I saw a little Tommy. We don't have a little Tommy, do we? No, we do not. Huh.
and you don't then go, oh, it must be a neighbor child
Right?
15 miles away.
In the woods?
In the
In a
woods.
cabin? No, I don't think
No.
so. No, that's a demon child.
Yeah.
He's going to eat you.
Yeah. So, like, there's a lot of things, I think, in a cabin, it's just hyper vigilant.
Okay.
At night. I would say during the day, you're probably okay.
But the 7-minute rule doesn't apply in a cabin.
It does.
Yeah?
It does, yes. The only difference, I would say, is...
I feel like it would be dangerous, even more so, in your car in the woods driving away.
My first instinct was that as well.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's more dangerous in a house that you're not familiar with. Because what if you're being haunted by, like, somebody who thinks that the cabin is theirs, like, and they're trying to get you out? Like, I just think it's better to try and get on the road and at least get away. Like, that should ultimately be your goal, which means at the very least you're attempting to do the 7-minute rule.
I see.
I don't know, but it is dangerous. Like, if it's at night, you're being stalked. You know you're being stalked.
And then
From the door to your car is dangerous.
right, and then you get to your car, you're driving, oh, and it stalls.
Yeah. Oh, here's another thing that's kind of creepy that everybody does. So they think something is going on, and then it's always the guy for some reason. They're always pissed. Fine, I'm gonna get in the car and I'm just gonna go, and then, like, they get stabbed.
I'm gonna buy some Taco Bell because I'm hungry.
Right? Like, it's this whole thing where they have a fight and suddenly they're not paying attention because they're mad. Don't get mad on vacation.
Right? If you're gonna get mad, that's another rule, a golden rule. Get mad at the thing.
At the thing.
At the slasher, the ghost, the demon, the spirit, whatever it is.
Yes. Yes. Don't get mad at the situation or your spouse or whatever. You gotta just...
Or don't get
keep
mad
yourself.
at the people you're with.
Yes. Yeah. But going back to what you said, if your car stalls, that could potentially really suck.
I mean, if it stalls, your best bet is to stay in it.
Yeah.
And like going back from what you said, when you're doing a cross country, try to make it so nobody can see inside.
That's why when I travel cross country, I always have a ton of extra towels with me. Like, I always have like 5 or 6 towels stored in the back seat because you can put them on the windows on the inside of your car and not have to get out to do anything. But I keep a lot of stuff in my car.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. That is, truer words have never been spoken. Some would say it's trash, some would not. But let's just leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that. So, what other locations? Because that's all on my list. But there are a few others.
Yeah, we covered space, the sea, tundra, your house, on the road, hotels and motels, hospitals.
I have 2 more.
Underground, cabins, or camping.
Yes, and I have 2 more that are sort of adjacent.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is, it's sort of like 3 locations in one. It's government buildings or office buildings that are like, there's nobody there. Churches or religious buildings and libraries.
Aren't you like safe in religious buildings?
No. Not according to horror movies.
Like what horror movie? In almost all horror movies, you're safe in churches, no? Or am I wrong?
In every single horror movie that has anything to do with Christianity at all.
You go into a church, you're dead.
You go into a church and somebody's going to die.
You're as good as dead.
Because the demon is defying God, and that's how powerful it is. It's so powerful that it can overcome the church.
I see. Okay. Interesting. So don't go into a church.
I guess you're not allowed to go into churches.
Right? Go to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, it's so much worse.
Right?
Because at Chuck E. Cheese, You have the Five Nights at Freddy's issue.
All right, but do they have a mascot that is an animatronic like the Freddy guy?
Yes, they do. That's where Five Nights at Freddy's came from.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I would have known.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Don't go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Go to Waffle House.
Oh, yeah, nothing bad happens at Waffle House except for human drama.
Yeah, and human drama,
You just keep eating your food. That's not your business.
Keep eating your food, don't even acknowledge it. You'll have a good time. You'll have good food.
Yeah.
And then you'll leave.
Yeah, I mean, the other one we didn't really cover was the asylum ward. The asylum.
Oh, yeah. First of all, why would you catch yourself in an asylum ward?
Because someone has Baker acted you or you are crazy.
Okay.
Now, if you are crazy or Baker acted, either the demon can pass through walls and they can kill you in your ward, in which case you're SOL, man.
Yeah.
Or they can't, and for some reason you decide to leave. And that's the real way that people die. They die because they get themselves out because they're afraid of the thing.
Well, I feel like, you go into one of those little rooms where everything is padded. There's only one door in and out.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perfect place to hide and be safe.
Yeah, and, and just, just stay there for as much as you can.
I agree.
Yeah.
And actually, you probably would get a good night's sleep unless they didn't clean all of the surfaces.
Yeah, but then doesn't the doors close from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, you're locked in there.
That's not good. How are you going to get out?
Oh, well, you're committed. You're committed.
That's a commitment.
That's not your decision.
No one's going to get you out.
No one's getting you out.
Maybe don't go to an asylum.
Unless, you're feeling like you need some mental health.
Or like those, what is it that you call them? What are they called? Those modern day explorers? Like ruin.
Oh, like abandoned buildings?
Yeah, abandoned buildings. They go to abandoned buildings from the 60s and turn of the century. And there's a lot of asylums.
There's a lot of them. I mean, we've seen so much found footage of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where like demons and like killers and stuff are. But I don't know why I feel this way because there's no reason why they should be so prepared. But I feel like those people are like super prepared to see creepy things because they've seen so much craziness.
Right.
Like what is the not haunted places, the abandoned places our YouTube that we watched?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
I don't remember the name.
So we'll list them down below. But that guy, I have a feeling that if he encountered anything creepy, he knows exactly what to do. Like, I have no doubt I would want that guy to come with us if ever anything creepy happened.
He'll tell us.
He'll tell us what to do.
Right. What do you mean 7-minute rule? Nah, this is what we do.
I kind of want to interview him and ask him, listen, what do you do if this happens?
Yeah, that'd be cool. How about you? Did you have any ideas of how to survive any of these places?
Yes, and do you have any locations that you'd like us to talk about in the future that you think are common places where horror movies take place? We would love to hear your comments and your tips and tricks and possibly movies that you'd like us to cover in the future.
Yeah, that we would.
Yes. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel and this video. You can also leave us a comment through our email address, which will be listed in the description on the audio version of this podcast, which is wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, and if it's on YouTube, just leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to be vigilant, be safe, and be the last one standing.
Always.